Is Sam Leavitt Brock Purdy or JJ McCarthy or none of the above? We're breaking it down on another trending mini-pod edition of PHNX Sun Devils. I'm Erik. That's Totri. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you're here on YouTube, if you're listening on audio, 5-star reviews go a long, long way. There was this video that surfaced recently about Sam Leavitt's NFL comps.
I think he's a more talented Brock Purdy. And I think he would be awesome in the Shanahan tree. He's a bigger arm than Purdy. He's more mobile than Purdy.
Here's my comp.
Go ahead.
And he has not played a snap in the NFL.
JJ.
And the idea is JJ McCarthy, man. I could not get it out of my head. I love the thing that really jumps out to me is their intermediate passes, the 10 to 19 yard passes, the timing, the touch. When the ball gets out in rhythm, these guys, both of these quarterbacks are really good in that area, especially on in-breaking routes, throwing into windows. When these guys need to make plays to their team, both McCarthy and Leavitt, they step up and make plays. And they will get hit in the mouth. They will get cut in half trying to make a throw. They will make a throw when they need to. I don't think either of them is an elite athlete as a runner, but they will hurt you if you give them a chance to scramble or extend the play. All of those things, to me, it's JJ McCarthy all over again.
So you heard what Todd McShay and company think of the Arizona State quarterback that's getting lots of preseason love and will have lots of eyes on him this season. What did you think of the comparisons, Totri?
Look, I think you first off have to tip your cap that he's comping these guys to NFL guys first and foremost, right? Especially guys like a Brock Purdy who just got paid, who was at a Super Bowl at one point, whether you think it was because of him or not. JJ McCarthy, also another NFL quarterback, hasn't played it down yet of NFL football, but you know what he's done on the national level as it relates to college football. With that said, I am not the biggest fan of those comps simply because I think, and I think you agree with me, Sam Leavitt is a more athletic quarterback than both of those guys.
I think his ceiling is a lot higher.
I would agree.
His arm strength, his mobility, his instincts there.
He's got a bigger arm than both of them.
I mean, and listen, and you want to give these guys credit too. Obviously, JJ McCarthy being a higher pick, but there's a reason why Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant coming out of college, because there were some questions about the things that there are not questions about with Sam. Does that mean that Sam's going to be a better NFL quarterback than Brock Purdy? That does not mean that, because it doesn't always translate to the next level. You might have all the tools and it just might not work out. I don't feel that way about Sam, and I do think that Sam's ceiling is higher than those two as far as like a game-breaking, game-changing quarterback. And I think that's why we have these potential conversations about him going number one overall. If he really does have a Heisman-level season as a quarterback, and you see in the NFL draft that quarterbacks always rise. Every team's always hungry for a quarterback at the top of the draft. And, you know, if JJ McCarthy and Brock Purdy and Sam Leavitt and what we project Sam Leavitt to be after this year are all coming out at the same time, knowing what has happened with Purdy or McCarthy, if they all come out at the same time and we project the season that we have Sam Leavitt to have, that he actually has it, I think Sam Leavitt goes above those two.
I would agree. I would 100% agree with you on that. I think, you know, Sam's still got a lot that he wants to prove this season. But in terms of what he can be at the next level, like his mentality fits everything that you want from a franchise leading quarterback. Athleticism wise, he's that type of guy. He can use his legs. He can scramble. He can throw on the run. He's good in the play action. He's got the deep ball. He could do everything that you want him to do. And something I think you saw that probably Brock does, and at least he did really well in that one season where he did take him to the Super Bowl, was he was a guy that was able to be, he took care of the football.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that Sam does really well at ASU. At least he did last year, and you expect him to hopefully do that again this year at ASU. But just in terms of pure athleticism, I'm not, in love with the comps of Purdy. Like I said, like you got to give, Sam's getting his flowers here by even being compared to NFL guys. But I think there are certainly some far more athletic quarterbacks that maybe fit the bill a little bit better. I think there are a couple names then, and I don't want this to get misconstrued as
Lamar Jackson.
No, I think in terms
Josh
of
Allen,
like athleticism wise, and this is going to come across, I think, more as like a homer for me, just because I am somebody that is a Chargers fan. But I think the skill set of a Justin Herbert, I think the skill set.
What specifically about the Herbert?
I think the arm talent specifically.
I would agree there.
He's got crazy arm talent, and just pinpoint accuracy. right? I think that, and I think a similar guy is Bo Nix, right? And I don't think that all of these guys, like, it's not cookie cutter, one size fits all. Like Bo Nix, Sam Leavitt, and Justin Herbert are all the same guy, right? There are clearly levels to this. Justin Herbert, in my estimation, is a top 8 quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is going to be, I think, a really good quarterback in the NFL. I think Sam Leavitt can be a really good quarterback in the NFL, and it's not a coincidence that all 3 of these guys, in theory, have ties to Oregon, right? You look at Herbert, he was at Oregon with Marcus Arroyo. You look at Bo Nix, he was at Oregon with Kenny Dillingham. And now you have Marcus Arroyo and Kenny Dillingham from Oregon working with Sam Leavitt. They have a type, right?
Yeah.
Say what you want. They have a type, and it's somebody that can take care of the football, that's athletic, that's accurate with the football, and that has a cannon of an arm, but can use his legs when he needs to. And Sam Leavitt fits the bill the same way that Bo and Herbert did while they were at Oregon.
Yeah, I feel like with Leavitt specifically, and the Herbert comp I really like because, and not just because of your homerism, of course, but because of the arm strength there as well. I want to see a little bit more from Bo Nix, obviously at a pro level. We've seen Herbert do it for a really long time. Is there anybody else that maybe we've seen in college football over the past like 10, 20 years maybe that you would comp them to? Maybe they had NFL success, maybe they didn't, because we project Bo Nix to have success in the NFL level after his first year. Obviously, Justin Herbert has had success on the NFL level. The Brock Purdy has had success. We don't know if it all comes from him, and JJ McCarthy hasn't even played. Anybody that was in college and was playing, you're like, man, that guy kind of played like Sam Leavitt, and maybe it didn't work out, or career is already over in the NFL and it did.
Ooh, that's a tough.
I know
one.
I didn't prep you for that one.
That's a tough one. I didn't see that one coming, man. Not off the top of my head. I wish I had one. I know there's a lot of people locally that like to compare Sam to Rudy Carpenter.
A lot of people like to compare him to Josh Allen.
Yeah, I don't see the Josh Allen. Josh is a giant, right?
I think the athleticism, but the build is different.
Yeah, the build is different. The way they throw the football is completely different as well. I don't love that comp. I think in terms of like the college aspect, I think you're probably more likely to look locally at the guy like a Rudy Carpenter, who can kind of do it all. But other than that, I mean, you could throw out some other names that maybe have cannons of arms that run. I mean, they're like, I don't know, man. It's
you could throw out some Heisman winners and that have had some different types of NFL careers. You could throw out, and I am not comping this. I'm just throwing names at the wall. Tim Tebow, who's very athletic as well.
Yeah, very athletic. He ran the ball more.
Yeah. Cam Newton.
I wouldn't go the Cam Newton.
I wouldn't either. I'm just trying to think of like guys that had different types of careers in the NFL, different levels of success that hit like these peaks in college football that we feel like Sam could hit this year.
Baker is a great example. I think Baker was at the peak of college football, and then like he was always just kind of like a on the cusp of being really good at the NFL.
Yeah, and maybe if we're rolling with the Baker comp, what could take Sam over the edge there is the size.
Yeah.
Right? Because he is a better build for a quarterback than what you would expect out of Baker.
I think so. Yeah. And that again, like the build is certainly something that is super important, but also like the fundamentals of just being a quarterback, right? Like the footwork and the reads and all that type of stuff. And I think Sam has done a really good job in his development, like practice over practice, year over year. And we'll see, I think, a pretty big jump this year in terms of what he's able to do at the line of scrimmage, which I think could catapult him pretty high in the NFL draft next season. But I do stand, and again, like I know the NFL comps that we had were Bo Nix and Herbo. I think just you turn on the tape of what those guys did at college, right? And it's no coincidence that they had Kenny as an OC and Arroyo as an OC, and Sam kind of plays similar to him with Marcus as an OC and Kenny as a head coach.
Yeah.
Right?
What would you give Sam Leavitt's pro comp? Or do you think he doesn't have one? One of one. He's a unicorn. Let us know down in the comments below. If you're listening on audio, of course, you can jump over to YouTube and drop a comment, or you can follow us on socials at PHNX_Sun Devils. We'll be back with more mini trending pods, live shows at 1. We'll be covering Big 12 Media Day and so much more as we build up to Arizona State's highly anticipated follow-up season after their Big 12 championship. You know there's only one place to get all of your information, all of your coverage, all of the fun moments. That is right here on PHNX Sports. Hit that subscribe subscribe button, hit that like button, and of course, we'll be talking to you very soon.